Flip it upside down. There we go. All right, so last night, this is a test, by the way. So if you happen to see this, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. But yeah, last night I was trying to make something. I ended up making this. See if we can get it in focus. Maybe more light. Let there be light. Basically, this is a piece of floral wire with a piece of 20 gauge stainless steel wire wrapped around it, which you just can't get into focus for some reason. There you go. Kind of a little bit there. A little bit better. There we go. And it's just one long guitar string-like cable. And I guess the next question would be, well, if it's like a guitar string, why didn't you just use a guitar string? And my answer to that would be, because I don't play guitar. If I had access to, immediate access to buying a bass guitar string, which, I mean, yeah, I could order them off Amazon. But yeah, this is a nice thickness, I think. Probably about just a little bit thicker than a 16th. Maybe 3/32. Don't know. But yeah, the way you make this, and I'm going to put it in another video, but the way I made it was the chuck on my drill did not close far enough to accommodate the wire and hold it in place. See? Too loosey-goosey. So I had to get creative. And yeah, it's a mess. I haven't been able to make any videos because it's, well, for a number of reasons. I was on vacation. I've got a lot of stuff I'm working on right now. And I got sick for a little bit. I had a cold, bad allergies when I got back from Chicago because, you know, Texas is the allergen capital of the world. I'm pretty sure. It's gotta be true. Hey, what's up, Andy? Good day to you. No, sir. Good day to you, sir. I also have a huge mess, and it's about 100 degrees in this garage right now. Not just yet. It's probably in the 80s. But yeah, even last night when I thought it'd be cooler, I thought it'd be fine to work in here, and I barely made it. I barely made it about halfway across this thing for 20 minutes, and I was sweating buckets of sweat. So by the time I got to the end of this, I mean, I literally had to stop about here, take a break, do this section, take another break, do this section. And then my wife actually came and helped me do this last few inches because it was just unbearable. But yeah, so what I did is, I can find the stuff I used. Where is it? You might recognize this little stack over here. If you are a collector of the fine accoutrement of the dollar store action figures, yeah. So I decided I'm going to use those on my my nephew's little. That's actually what this is for. This is for the pod racer. This is the cable that's going to hold the two engines to the pod. So I was going to make two of these, but I think one is going to be fine. It's pretty long. It's about 17 inches, 16 inches of just this cool, like, see if I can get it in focus. Come on, autofocus. Anyway, you get the point. I don't want to spend all video. But I haven't done any live video on my phone like this before. So I just wanted to test it out. And plus, I hadn't posted a video in forever. Yes, I'm going to clean up this mess. It's horrible. So this is the plank it's going to go on. Yeah, it's like a guitar string, but I didn't have time to shop for a guitar string, and I wanted it to be a certain thickness. So this is what I used. It's a 24 gauge galvanized wire. So it's stainless. It's steel wire, still galvanized. Not stainless, like I said, but galvanized. I just took a big old chunk of this, and then I used the chuck from my pin vise, and I wedged that in here. And then I got this floral wire, shoved the floral wire in there, and just started spinning it around, and yeah, eventually it made it through. I took video of it, but you know, that's gonna be another video. This is kind of like an impromptu thing. Still finding parts of stuff on the floor. So what happened with the pod racer, is originally I was going to use this as the pod, you know, and the engine. But then looking at it, I was like, you know, this is pretty huge. I mean, for the engines of a pod racer, I mean, you look at the show and it's like, these are gigantic. It should be something like, this should be the engine for a pod this size. So I scrapped that. So now I'm going to keep the pods. I mean, I'm going to keep the engines, which I'm still working on. They're not going to be this devoid of detail. But I decided what would probably be better to scale. And since I'm also wanting to use this looks square on the camera, but it's not. It's just the way it's actually rectangular. If I hold it further back, you can see that. For whatever reason, it looks kind of, you know, see, it's Trump Doy or Deloy or whatever. Hello. I don't know who came in. I'm just barely seeing text coming in. So let me see. Where is that other? Here it is. So I got two motors, two engines. Right? Which again, I'm going to add more detail to them. So there's those. There's the little pod racers. And I thought what looks probably more in scale would be the end of this spoon and this little engine bit. So I thought, okay, well, I think, you know, I'll chop this up, and this will be the pod that goes on the back end of that. Something like that. I think that's a good size. And yeah, I'll put them up like this. And I'll be able to use a minimal amount of materials for the base and everything else. I think it'll work good. So that's the plan. Still have to make a robot for April. I haven't really even messed around with that. Looks like it's going to be a chopstick robot because I'm going to try to use a lot of these pieces for that geisha too. Basically what that amounts to, and what I've decided is, I finally bought a decent pair of wire cutters last night. What I was looking for was a fan for this room because I'm already sweating in the short time I've been on. Yeah, I'm just going to buy a fan for this room, something that oscillates. These are going to get cut down probably here. Let me see. So the plan is take a chopstick and cut it about right there for the lower leg, upper leg, somewhere in between there's a knee, and then maybe sculpt or glue some stuff on it, and then use the rest of this just for the whole skeleton. So it's not going to be very tall. I doubt it'll be much taller than this entire chopstick. The original plan was to make it really huge, but you know, time and frankly, effort. I don't. I just don't want to put all that much effort into it this time around. You know, they can't all be um, Mona Lisas, right? Sometimes it's just do a scribble of an olive oil. That's for those of you who are uh, Popeye deficient. That's his girlfriend. And for those of you who don't know who Popeye is, that's a comic slash cartoon from way back when. Um, all I'll say is eat your spinach. But the other thing, I talked a little bit about bottles and some of the plastics and how to treat this stuff. Well, I haven't really talked about how to treat it. This one is a number, I think it's number one. I can barely read it. Oh, my glasses. What's that say? That's a one. This one's probably pretty easy to glue things to, actually. I think most of the clear stuff like this that has a nice sheen to it, that doesn't feel waxy and soft, is going to be a number one. There are a lot of other YouTubers that have gone over what these RIC codes mean, or rather these, I think, resin identifier codes. Yeah, they're partially for recycling purposes, but also they tell you they really tell you what kind of plastic it is. In this case, I think this is PET or PETE, depending on how you, yeah. Can never get focus on here. Anyway, so it tells you, I think Craftsman did a video on it. I saw his a while back and it was pretty good. He was talking about types of plastic you would use for recycling, or rather reusing for his injection molds. And then I want to say it was another video he did with where he specifically talks about these. And he kind of goes, I think the idea was he was injection molding something and he couldn't paint on it, which is kind of what I was going to cover is what you want to use for this. And he had heat treated. That's an old trick actually, for model builders or anybody that does any kind of kit bashing. Hey, Turkey. Turhiki? I never get that right. But yeah, some of these plastics, they don't glue well. They're intentionally chemical resistant, which means they're going to be resistant to gasoline and kerosene and other types of things that might break down the composition of these things. In particular, food. There are certain types of food that have a lot of oils in them that love to eat plastics like this. But this plastic, this soft plastic, which I think this came from a lotion bottle, and you know the kind, it's got that same milky white sort of casing, soft look to it. It's just very, very resistant to oils and being chemically broken down. So it's ideal for food and other stuff that you're going to be handling or putting on your skin or ingesting, because the plastic is more stable. It doesn't have a tendency to break down and become part of the food you're going to put in your body. So yeah, it's still gluable. I mean, this thing's on pretty solid. This is a piece of aluminum and it's glued on pretty good. I did not use any baking powder or anything. It's just glued on there. It's on pretty firm. So it will take glue. It's just very resistant to certain types of glue. And even this, I think one of them popped off when I was playing with it. So you have to kind of really mess with it. Now, I didn't heat treat these. I will be heat treating like something larger like this. Then and when I say heat treat, I mean, it really doesn't take much. You can use a heat gun. I've seen people use blow torches. You can even kind of give it a little bit of heat. This is probably not nearly enough heat to do anything with, but I think one of the things was the reason you're heating it isn't just to kind of treat the plastic. For my part, I would say wash the plastic in warm soapy water first, dry it off, get some isopropyl alcohol and rub it down. I've seen people, there's a lot of ways to do this, and which ones work, I have no idea. It's really going to be like, hey, you know what? Trial and error. Try them all yourself. But another thing you can do is torch it. One person described it as, and this is true of all sprues, especially if you have models. The reason you want to wash it is, and also maybe even torch it to some degree, is the releasing agent they put on this. So when you've got stuff that's got this many details, this one looks like it was probably injection molded, honestly. Maybe not injection. Yeah, it could have been. It's got a seam on it, like a double two-part mold with an injection molder like that, and then just slice it off and send it out. But yeah, there's a releasing agent that's kind of creates a film that makes it even more difficult to get stuff to glue to this. So you wash it to remove that. On larger pieces, something like this. There's a label that was on this that was a nice staticky, sticky label, but when I took it off, it didn't have any adhesive on it, on the back of it. So things do stick to these. But yeah, you can, this is a 2, I think, right? Yeah. So this is a high density polyethylene. This is the one that's one of the big problem plastics. Yeah, you can heat this. I would say you don't want to torch it to the point where it's melting. You just very lightly want to go over it. That's why I think a heat gun probably is better. You can kind of get it to heat down a little bit. But oh my God, I'm sweating already. So I'm going to have to cut this video short. Point is, you heat this stuff up. It might even get rid of some of that sheen. And that supposedly will allow you to glue things to it. I've done it before to get things to glue, mostly for paint purposes. I haven't had a lot of trouble with glue. I lie. I have had problems with glue, but if you're persistent, the way I've done it is just, I just say, to hell with it. I'm just going to put as much glue as I absolutely need to. You can also drill and bolt things to these. I mean, that's one way around it, but I mean, gluing is obviously a lot easier. I think this one's going to be a spaceship, you know, like a cruiser. I don't know. We'll see. No idea what that's going to be. Part of the cruiser? Nah. So anywho, yeah, my pod racer for my nephews there. Some of these parts are kind of cool. You can use them as like shocks and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But like, you know, like this piece, I'll probably end up drilling a hole and just gluing it to the side with this peg, leaving the peg in there. Because, I mean, that peg will give it another point of stability when I glue it on. But anywho, I'm done here. I'm dripping with sweat. Just to give you an idea how much sweat, this is the sweat I just rubbed off my hair. It's like, yuck. Ugh. I'm dying. All right. Talk to you guys later. Yeah, well, the heat, man. It's not good when you've got, I'm in a garage, so if I open the garage, all the neighbors can see this guy sitting in it, like making toys, which I don't really care, but you know, I like my privacy. The other thing I'm probably going to do is put a fan in here, just for this. In the wintertime, it's like maybe 50, 60 degrees in here, and that's perfect for me. That's bots weather. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Again, this is just kind of a quickie live stream. Wasn't really intending for it to be anything. It was just kind of like a random doohickey. Don't forget your aluminum. That's another good way around it is, yeah, I'm going to probably do a lot of this on that bigger piece, is cut a lot of aluminum and put the rivets in and my little impressions and stuff on it to make my spaceship and stuff. Oh yeah, that was one thing I wanted to show you. So before I let you go, what was it? It wasn't this one. Maybe one of these. There we go. I was gonna where's that block of wood again? There we go. I know, I'm not usually this messy, guys. There was another thing you can do, which was fun. besides the rivets. Let's see if I can turn this down. All right, so you can, I think I kind of alluded to this last time, but I didn't really do anything with it. It's a little tricky because the more bends you put in this stuff, the anyway, you can do things like that to get that like sort of metal look. Not corrugated metal necessarily, but if you want that sort of Spirit of St. Louis look, I think there's another thing you can do with like I haven't really done this in a while, so bear with me. I don't know if you can do it. Yeah, kind of. I was going for that turned aluminum look too, but wasn't too successful. With something like that, I think you really need more of a disc shape. Something like the other one I wanted to see if I could do this. I need something heavy. Ah, our famous dry brushing rock. Anyway, yeah, I love this stuff. It takes impressions really well. And it's cheap. All you gotta do is drink a soda or a beer or whatever. Whatever your preference bees. All right, guys, I'm dying. The sweat is building up. Look at that. Gross. Gross. All right. Talk to you later. I'll see you probably on whoever's live stream. I think Andy's got a live stream coming up today. I think, right? Andy, are you still there? Are you on the live stream? You tell me. I don't know. Who's on? I saw Sarah. I saw Ezra, a few others. 5 people on here. Well, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have fun. Have a good Sunday. All right. See ya. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna go cool off. I got some coffee I need to finish. Later, guys. You turn this thing off anyway. Never done this before. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. Okay, bye, guys.